So Hillary Clinton loved to say during her general election run against Donald Trump, when they go low, we go high. And she's quoting Michelle Obama's speech from the DNC. But it appears, based on information we now have about how they conducted the primaries, no, when Bernie Sanders went high, you went low. And this is broken by our own reporter Jordan Chariton at TYT Politics as part of the WikiLeaks emails, but there's a lot of emails to go through and people are finding nuggets in there, and here's an interesting one that they found. So apparently, and Jordan tweets this out, the Hillary Clinton team took a photo of Bernie Sanders in a swimming suit. I don't know why they would do that. What a weird, creepy thing to do, right? And this was at a retreat for Democratic senators. And so here, we'll show you the picture because there's no shame in this. Okay, there he is, a guy in a bathing suit. I really don't understand the point of this at all, but they apparently thought that this was very clever and like, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. So a bunch of emails went around. Tino Flournoy writes in, Bernie at the DSCC retreat, and then Brian Fallon writes, these are all part of Clinton's team, writes back, OMG. What's the OMG part? OMG what? A guy went swimming, okay? John Podesta asked, can we tweet? Tweet and do what? And then what would this prove? And then finally Brian Fallon comes back and says, I think we should give this to the New York Post. So you know what they eventually did, by the way? They gave it to Perez Hilton. That is kind of a celebrity blogger. And then he's like, oh, Bernie Sanders at Martha's Vineyard. But wait a minute, it was a retreat for Democratic senators. It says it right there in the emails. So did they take pictures of all the Democratic senators in swimming suits so that they could leak it to the press? What part of this is going high? So no, it's all of that is just a political strategy. You're running against a monster like Donald Trump and you pretend to take the high ground, right? When you're running against Bernie Sanders and he clearly has the high ground, boom, you go low. Look at him! In a bathing suit! It's so childish, so stupid. And they can't figure out why people don't trust them. And they can't figure out why people might think that, hey, maybe they play dirty tricks from time to time. And then finally, I think actually the most relevant part of the story is the conversation they keep having back and forth about who they should, they say at the end, to be fair, and then we know what they did eventually. Who in the press should we leak it to? So that's why when people say, yeah, Clinton's team gathers up info, they give it to the press, and then the press runs it. That is true. So don't be naive about how politics works. I don't think that's necessarily the most evil thing. If you found good opposition research against your opponent, whether it's Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders, you're going to want to give it to the press. But when people say, hey, look, the press seems like they're working sometimes hand in hand with Hillary Clinton, they all act like shocked and chagrined, like, oh, how could you say that? We had nothing to do with the press. You leak this to the press right away. Get them to run. But they don't run it every time. The New York Post didn't run this. And by the way, New York Post is a conservative paper run by Rupert Murdoch. So when they go high, you go low. So don't pretend you're something you're not.
Help keep TYT independent by becoming a member. TYTnetwork.com/join.